Okay, let's examine the third sentence. Cornel West writes, in short, Elijah Muhammad's project remains captive to the supremacy game, a game mastered by the white racists he opposed and imitated with his black supremacy doctrine. So this third sentence basically reiterates what was said in the first sentence, which I had already gone over. Elijah Muhammad is attempting to oppose white supremacy by reversing the opposition and instituting a black supremacy. So if Cornel West had incorporated Derrida into his project, this would have been the second opportunity for him to stop and say, hey, wait, maybe I should reread a little Derrida. Also, Cornel West uses the phrase opposed and imitated. Now, Derrida talks a lot about imitation. The Double Session is an essay where Derrida reads a poem by the French poet Mallarmé. Now, in this poem, Mallarmé says, there is no text which precedes the mime's performance. The mime imitates nothing. In the essay, Signature Event Context, Derrida talks about iterability and or, we have to stress the or, citationality. How could anyone that has read, studied, and claims to have incorporated Derrida into his project use the phrase opposed and imitated and not stop and make some type of note? In this third sentence, Cornel West uses the classical opposition of imitated imitator, placing the white supremacist in the role of the imitated and Elijah Muhammad in the role of the imitator. Elijah Muhammad imitated the white supremacist, and by the logic of this very classical opposition, the white supremacist is the imitated and therefore the master of the game. Thus, Elijah Muhammad and his black supremacy are mastered, captive, contained, and therefore powerless and impotent. And yet, isn't this very order, this master copy, the imitated imitator, the very order that Elijah Muhammad, that deconstruction, that Derrida are challenging? Cornel West writes, with its distinct black supremacist account of the origins of white people. That account that he is referring to is the story of Yakara. In that story, Elijah Muhammad creates an origin of humanity in which blacks come first. They are good and they are happy. And whites come second as imitations, as derivatives of blacks. And these whites are created with the purpose of subverting or reversing the natural order. Without the theoretical, that is, without Derrida and without deconstruction, Elijah Muhammad is challenging the order imitated imitator. With his idea of black supremacy, Elijah Muhammad is challenging the idea of supremacy. Which one is supreme? Which one comes first? Which one has priority? How does Cornel West make the determination that the white supremacists are the ones being imitated? Because the white supremacists made the claim first? And because they've made this claim first, they have some sort of chronological priority? Or maybe it's because the utterances of the white supremacists are taken seriously and are meaningful, but the utterances of the black supremacists are meaningless and silly. Not to digress, but in one of his books, Henry Louis Gates Jr. says that there is a man, a black male, who is writing under erasure before Derrida and before Heidegger. Now, one of the things that I want to clarify is that I am not saying that Elijah Muhammad was practicing deconstruction before or outside Derrida. Number one, because I personally don't think that deconstruction exists before Derrida proposes that word as a more appropriate translation for the word that Heidegger was using, which was destruction. To say that this black man was writing under erasure before Derrida or Heidegger, or that a black man was deconstructing outside Derrida, is to forget that there is a group of people attempting to subordinate another group of people on the basis of what can be read as a basic metaphysical opposition. And that these people, this group of human beings, are attempting to resist that subordination. And that resistance can best be understood with the help of deconstruction. Since we cannot simply ignore intention, and I don't know what Elijah Muhammad's intentions actually were. And because it's not outside the realm of possibility that another theory will come along and better explain black people's attempts to resist racist subordination. So let me clarify what it is that I'm saying. Cornel West's book, Race Matters, has a 1993 copyright. Cornel West wrote another book, which has a 1994 copyright. And in this second book, Cornel West makes the assertion that he has incorporated Derrida into his project. What I am saying is that incorporation is not in effect in 1993, not in the book Race Matters. I am not saying that the incorporation takes place after 1993, even though that is possible. It is possible that after 1993, Cornel West read, studied, and attempted to incorporate Derrida into his project. It is possible, but that's not what I'm saying. I have another example, and it takes place after 1994. However, I am not quite finished analyzing these 6 sentences yet.